Anatas Mockus is a philosopher, a mathematician. He was rector, president of the National University in Bogota for several years, and then he became mayor. Took office in January of 1995 when Bogota was literally the most difficult city in the Americas, maybe in the world. Violent, corrupt, chaotic. He rescued a city. One lesson that we all learned is that without pleasure, there is no social change. If you try to force social change, even good ideas, without eliciting pleasure that comes from participatory art, what you see is resistance, resentment, and the end of that good idea. So pleasure as a principle of social change was a revelation to most of us. Anatas is an artist who creates art in all of us.
One of my biggest pleasures in my life is to cut guns in small pieces. With my bodyguards, we took a beautiful, almost new brand called 32. We put in a press, and I say each of us has to cut. And we wear it for some months. Instead of guns, parts of a gun. That's recontextualizing. But the military got hungry because constitutionally the only people who have the right to destruct guns are military. So the second time I had the militaries together and I asked them their permission. This is perhaps too elementary. I was menaced by the FARC, and I opened a hole in my bulletproof jacket, and for almost 1 year I was wearing it, even traveling internationally with it on me. In Belgium, someone thought that I was the garde corps of the king. In 1994, people question was, who are you? Are you leftist? Are you rightist, for example? And we answered with a lot of pleasure, we are citizens preparing ourselves as such. So right or left, it's a very high degree question. First, there are elementary things. Don't rob the state. Don't kill the people. Collective actions. The idea was very simple. Have your water and use yourself less water. Self-regulation. The first week, there was more consumption of water. The reason, in many families, people were putting water in vessels in any case. People know the film, the script. The mayor will ask to save, nobody will save, he will cut, so let's. In my case, I was very happy with inventing the idea that Shakira could help us saying one sentence in the telephone. When the telephone makes occupied tone, beep, 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 before that, gracias por ahorrar agua. Well, at the beginning, it was my voice, but Shakira is better. And the magic is when the pedagogy works aligned with economy. We had rising prices of water. You had a reduction of water to a half of the water that was consumed before. So if someone asks me, what have you done for environment? I say, principally, mainly, only one thing, reducing the consumption. The idea was to replace traffic police by mimes in a square of 300 meters by 300 meters, a very small part of the city. And the journalist, the first question he made during the press conference was, would the mime put fines? No, sir, the mine cannot put fines. Oh, it will not work. And then it was fighting against our own prejudices. And 9 months after, we fired the traditional traffic police. They were the most illustrative of corruption. In Alagoas, the homicides descended, but not by our recommendations, but they descended. You did not any of the things that we recommended, almost no one. But you arrange it by other ways, by inventing other tricks to progress. So allow us, say one to the other, you also help it. I was in Cúcuta, in the frontier with Venezuela, making a workshop, and one woman says, your idea of going to borings has helped me a lot. I didn't understand, I was surprised. She says, yes, my first son was killed. And every week I go once to the tomb of my son, and the other I go to a burying of a youngster killed by violence. And she said, and my 2 little other babies, 7 and 8 years old, when I go to the cemetery, they take part of the flowers that we carry and they ask me, can we put this on the tombs of others? The message has its origins almost all the time in others. You carry it from one place to another place. You recontextualize, and that affects the potential of sense, the potential of provoking action. And so people in Cartagena, from one year to another year, we have 42 less homicides. So we asked the Bodies College, a very beautiful ballet group, modern ballet, to make a spectacle. And they were wearing a hat, and they were dancing 1, 2, 3, and entering in the scene, counting. But they began, they stopped it, and they say, please all say 1. So when all people say 1, they jump it in the first. 2, 3, 4. I was in the television, and someone says, what's that your theory about little sacrileges for the sake of the sacred? How does it work? So I asked him, do you know how many fewer homicides there has been in Cartagena? He said, no, I don't know. So I said to him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He wanted to interrupt in television. The time is very precious. So it's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. 42. From one year to another.